Netherlands have
Yeah, look at the partnerships there. These two put on 77 now. Goes inside.
excellent hands from Max O'Dowd. He really is a classy operator. Didn't see it yesterday, of course. He got out early. And we're seeing now that was a key wicket for Nepal.
Over the wicket now, change of angle, big appeal. Given not out, the bowler was convinced. No movement at all from the umpire. I'm just glad I didn't say what I was about to say, Matt, because we are on the verge of history here. The highest score ever for the Netherlands in a T20I in 96. Peter Seeler last, over a year ago now, back in 2019. The Tri-Series in Dublin, the captain made 96 not out. And there's the history, but it's not the history O'Dowd's going to want. He's going to want the 100. He moves to 97. That's the highest score ever in Dutch colours in any T20I.
Brilliant knock as well. Just felt like everything was hitting the middle of the bat from the first ball. First ball went for 4, crashed it into Cover's knee, and it rebounded all the way to the boundary. So you knew straight away he was feeling good.
Hammered down the ground, real power from Cooper. Diving stop in the deep, it's ricocheted off him. He will tidy up, it'll just come back. He'll throw in, and Rahman has been impressive. He's by far the best economy rate of any of the Malaysia bowlers, a career economy rate of under 5, which in T20I cricket is phenomenal, Matt.
Superb. They do have some good spin options, but useful left-arm spinner not playing as well.
Get into the offside, but the man on the offside boundary is at a deep extra cover. Incredibly straight for the man on the deep. So O'Dowd just a couple away from the century. He'll have to wait till the next over at least. Ben Cooper will be looking at 2, 4 or 6 here.
I think so, certainly with the ball spinning into his bat.
Maxwell O'Dowd had absolutely no interest in the single. 3 overs to go here in Kathmandu. It's 150 for 2. So 6 bowlers used so far for Malaysia. Problems really for Aziz in particular. Very expensive first over, not finding his radar. And this is it. It's going to be the moment. Maxwell O'Dowd here in Kathmandu makes history for the Netherlands. The first ever T20I 100. He takes his helmet off. He lifts his bat to the sky. Yesterday is forgotten for the Dutch right now because Maxwell O'Dowd, you have a T20I century.
And it's taken just 59 deliveries. He has not hung around today. Strike rate 172, 5 sixes, including a couple of glorious shots over cover. And as you said, Andrew, yesterday, because of his flowing locks, he could be a cult hero over here in Nepal. It's not just the Nepali players they get looked up to. And this innings will have certainly turned heads.
Yeah, what a beautiful moment that was. He took his helmet off, he lifted his head to the sky, real palpable relief as much as anything after what was just a disaster for the Netherlands. They're going to want to forget about yesterday. It's less than 24 hours later. It's almost a distant memory because the Netherlands are flying here and the next sight for them has to be on 200, Matt. They've got to go big these last 16 deliveries.
Possible, certainly with these short boundaries.
Yeah, well hidden away by Aziz outside the off stump. And Cooper can only get it away for a single. Just a bit of frustration for Cooper. Second ball duck yesterday. He's doing the right thing though, getting O'Dowd back on strike.
Looks like he's still searching a little bit for his form. But as you say, no need to worry about that when the guy at the other end is going as well as O'Dowd is.
Hammered into the leg side. There's protection out there though, so just going to be a single. Well picked up. And you can see Malaysia just looking to get this innings out and done with as little damage as possible. They're not even really looking for wickets anymore. Just trying to protect the boundaries. Very standard T20I field at this stage of the game for any seamer really.
I think the key is just nothing length, nothing that they can hit straight and out the park. Dig it into that pitch, just back of a length. Not on that occasion. Squirted away by Cooper. He might feel he could have hit that over the boundary, really. It was there for him. But he's not quite found his rhythm or the middle of his bat too often.
Yeah, and a good comeback this from Aziz. He was very erratic in his first over. Really all over the place. Perhaps those early nerves we talked about. But he's come back well here, doing a good job for his captain at the death. He'll probably end up bowling the final over the match now as well. And finds the block hole. Super over. No boundaries coming from it. And little damage done. So 18 gone, 2 overs remain, 158 for 2. Yeah, 7 runs shy of a century partnership. Maxwell O'Dowd and Ben Cooper. They hold the record for the highest T20I partnership for the Netherlands. And they're the highest 2 ranked batsmen, real mainstays of this Dutch batting lineup. That record 144 against Ireland in Malahide. We're going to see another change in bowling because of the 4 over spell of the left arm spinner is done. So we'll go back to Sharvin Muniandi. Bowl the penultimate over of the innings. Smash down the ground. The umpire has to take evasive action. It's going to thud into the side screen at the Bajaj Pulsar end. Super shot from Maxwell O'Dowd.
That was as hard as any ball has been hit today. Lovely sound off the bat that. You knew straight away just from the crack that was going to whack into the side screen.
Here's the moment, Matt. 100, it was short and wide. He knew the moment it came off the bat. And look at the real raw emotion. Lifts his head up towards the skies above the Himalayas. The helmet comes off. A very, very happy man.
Very happy man. Very hot man, I'd imagine, as well, with that hair in these conditions. But what a relief for the Netherlands to show their true side today with the bat.
Oh, he's going to be disappointed he missed out there down the track. It was right in the slot. He can't quite believe he's missed that. But yeah, you could just feel even the palpable relief, the easing of the tension. There was a tension around the Dutch camp last night. Never seen a Dutch performance really like that in many years I've been following them. They've really turned it around today. the slot again, hit down the ground. It's going to go over his head. A complete misjudgment by the fielder. He thought it was coming straight to him. Soared over his head. And we're going to have a check. It might have gone all the way.
Completely mistimed, really, by O'Dowd. We haven't seen that too often, but he's got a lot of power. Still managed to get it over the rope. They're just double-checking that, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Pavandeep Singh, wasn't it, down at long off. A complete misjudgment. One of those ones he thought he needed to come in, and he's ended up overrunning it, coming in too far. Would have been a regulation catch if he'd stayed where he was, but it's gone all the way for 6. Not a good piece of work in the deep.
I think he forgot we're at altitude here, and the ball flies a little bit further.
Just a shame we're in the bubble. We could be out on the golf course, Matt, hitting those 8 or 9
300-yard drives, yeah.
Hit into the sky. This could be a chance. It's towards the man at long on. And another complete misjudgment. Really poor fielding. That's Mohammed Wafiq. It was to his weaker side. He's a left-hander. I think Maxwell O'Dowd thought he was gone. Poor stuff. 2 runs to the total.
Well, he did something very similar, really, to Pavandeep. He ran in when he should have been running along the side of the boundary, and that just did him there.
Almost hit him in the toe, Matt.
If he'd run around and in, he could have got in a better position to catch it, really.
Very strange moment there, the kind of moment you often see a diving effort. But as you say, if he and his initial strides would have been to the right, he would have run around it, got 2 hands in it. He ends up not even getting a single hand in it. And O'Dowd continues, 117 now. Beautifully bowled down the leg side, and it's going to be signalled wide. The appeal from the bowler, perhaps trying to say to the umpire, it did clip the pad. All that matters, the umpire's arms are outstretched.
Maybe a bit harsh, that, from the umpire. It wasn't far away from leg stump. O'Dowd did go across his stumps, and maybe it had even clipped the pad. There was the hint of a noise. At least the bowler thought so.
Yeah, and one pleasing thing there you see from Malaysia, just 4 extras this whole innings. They have been disciplined with the ball. Beautifully bowled. O'Dowd was looking to come at him again into the slot, but the short ball beats him.
Malaysia haven't disgraced themselves by any stretch of the imagination. They've certainly had their good periods. Pavandeep Singh was very good with the new ball. Anwar Rahman was very economical, and we can see that Muniandi has a box of tricks at the death.
Thuds into the pad, big appeal. Very difficult to get an LBW decision coming around the wicket. And the misfield is going to let them get back for 2-leg byes. End of the 19th over. Netherlands now 174 for 2. Match 2 of the Bajaj Pulsar Tri-Nation Series, strength partner Shivam Cement, and we've already had our second 100 partnership of the week, and what a partnership it's been. Maxwell O'Dowd has been the dominant one. He's got 86 of that 108 run partnership. Ben Cooper, very much the supporting role.
Which doesn't happen too often to Cooper, Netherlands' leading run scorer in T20s. Well bowled that by Syed Aziz, bowling a hard length. And I think that's the way to go on this pitch. You've got to try and hit the top of off, bang it into the pitch, and you get a bit of tennis ball bounce sometimes. It's not easy to score. I think you saw today and you saw yesterday with the Netherlands bowlers too. If you bowl too full, you bowl length. It's a short boundary pretty much on all sides here. If the batsman can just free their arms and get through the ball, there's runs on offer.
Oh, that's a glorious shot. Anytime a batsman goes inside out over extra cover, he's held his shape beautifully. One bounce and another boundary 4.
And he plays that shot really well, O'Dowd. It's a real area for him, going up and over cover. One of the hardest shots to play in the book, but it comes very naturally to him, off both front and back foot, actually.
Yeah, so pleasing to the eye, that shot, wasn't it? Perhaps a little bit into the slot, but good reading of where the bowler's looking to bowl from O'Dowd. You can see Aziz trying to hide it away outside the off stump. And O'Dowd thinking he's going to go there. And changes in the field everywhere. Protection now out at deep extra cover.
Moved a long way across his stumps there, O'Dowd. Just trying to mess with the bowler's head, try and get him to bowl it where he wants him to bowl it. He's eyeing up a massive score here. 121 in T20 terms is huge. I remember Graham Gooch, the old England captain, used to always say in Test cricket, don't just score 100, score a daddy 100. Get a big one. Well, I think in T20 this is a daddy 100. 121 off just 70 balls.
Smashed down the ground. It's going to be more runs here. And it's going to soar just one bounce, just shy of the boundary. I thought it might have gone all the way for 6. The umpire immediately signalling for really good batting. A little bit too predictable from Aziz right now.
Who's your daddy? Max O'Dowd is. He is in sensational form at the moment. Seeing the ball like an absolute football. He's not going to miss out on a full toss at this stage.
Incredibly close to a 6 to me, Matt. Maybe just shy of the boundary. The umpire had the perfect line of sight of it. Called it correctly. 2 deliveries remain. Going to be more runs. There's going to be another boundary 4, and that's 1,000 T20I runs now for Maxwell O'Dowd. This is a day he's going to remember. He moves to not just a daddy 100, he moves to the landmark of 1,000 T20I runs. 129 not out here today.
Too much width on this occasion for Syed Aziz. O'Dowd just had to throw his hands at the ball. I think Aziz maybe put off by the fact that O'Dowd had moved across his stumps and just went a bit too far to the offside. So 1 ball to go.
Records breaking everywhere here, Matt. The highest ever score by an associate in a T20I international. Slower leg cutter heaved into the deep. They're going to keep running here. They're not going to need to run because it's going to be a boundary. 4 more. Maxwell O'Dowd, 133 not out of 73 deliveries. The 5th highest score ever in a T20 international by any batsman around the world. The highest by an associate. What a knock we've witnessed here in Kathmandu.
We really have something special. Ryan Campbell read the riot act to the Netherlands yesterday after the Nepal loss. He wanted a response with the bat and then with the ball. Well, with the bat, it's come from one man, Max O'Dowd. We didn't see much of him yesterday. Got out for 10, but we've seen the class of the man today. We really have. That was a brilliant innings. He played shots all around the ground, really, particularly strong through the covers, both in the air and along the ground. Strong down the ground. He pulled well whenever Malaysia dropped short, and that's a huge percentage of that score. 133 out of 192. What an innings. Edwards did a job, 31 coming in at number 3 off just 23 balls until he was LBW. Visay went early for 1. And Ben Cooper did a decent job too, 20 off 20 balls, but he made sure he got her down on strike.
Yeah, glorious knock on a glorious day in Kathmandu, and what a partnership. Not too often you see that, Matt, a partnership of 125. Maxwell made 102 of them. Ben Cooper just did what he had to do, knocked it around 20 off 20. No one's going to remember that. They're all going to remember the fact that Maxwell O'Dowd has played an innings for the record books. So the bowler's figures here, Matt, not a huge amount to shout about, but really impressive from the left arm spin of Rahman.
Rahman was excellent. Economy rate just 6.25, 1 wicket for him as well. Pavandeep Singh, the other left arm spinner, was impressive at the top. He took an early wicket. The rest of them fairly expensive, you'd have to say, in the face of some very aggressive Dutch batting.
Yeah, those 3 seamers really expensive. The spinners doing the job. So at the end of the first innings, Netherlands, they've made 191. Malaysia are going to need 192 to get off the mark in this series. But right now, the Dutch are going to be the favourites. We'll be back with all the action and much more after this. Welcome back. Game 2 of the Bajaj Pulsar Tri-Nation Series. Strength partner Shivam Cement. Andrew Leonard here. Got Matt Floyd beside me. You can see the umpires walking out. And if you missed the first innings with us, we've seen absolute fireworks from that man, Max O'Dowd. 133 off 73 deliveries, the 5th highest individual T20I score in the history of T20 international cricket. What a knock it was, Matt.
It really was. He dominated the partnership with Ben Cooper, who is Netherlands' best batsman on paper in this format, the leading run scorer in T20 internationals. Well, their partnership of 125, O'Dowd made 102 of those. That's how dominant he was. Malaysia stuck to their task in their first game of this series. The wickets taken by Pavandeep Singh and Anwar Rahman, the 2 left-arm spinners who were without doubt the pick of the bowlers. Shavan Muniandi showed glimpses of what he can do at the death, but on the whole, those final 4 bowlers all suffered a bit at the hands of O'Dowd. I think they've shown, though, that they're not going to be pushovers with the ball. They've got some handy bowlers throughout their squad. Fitri Sham, another left-arm spinner, not playing today, also has a good record.
Yeah, and they've got a 15-man squad as well. I suspect we'll see all 15 of them in operation at some point during the week. And I'm going to be really interested in their approach here, Matt. Are they going to go from ball 1? Are they going to be trying to chase this down? Or are they going to try and ease their way into their first batting in the series? The 2 men at the crease. We've got Syed Aziz. And joining him is Arudin. How does he spin to start for the Netherlands? The youngster. He had quite the baptism yesterday, being smashed all over the place in the second over of the match. Young Arjen Dutt, 17 years of age, his second T20I today. Good tactics from the Dutch here. I get the off breaks straight into the left-handed Aziz to start with.
Big moment this for Arjen Dutt. Went for 19 in his first over against Nepal yesterday. I like the way that the management have stuck with him, though. Just 17 years old. Give him another go.
Yeah, slip in place and turn on offer, but runs coming off the bat again immediately. He was expensive yesterday, Dutt. And what a start that is. The first globally televised match for Malaysia. They start with a boundary.
Lovely back cut, that from Syed Aziz. He is the danger man as far as the Netherlands are concerned. He's the leading run scorer for Malaysia by far in T20s. 637 runs at 35. Strike rate 136 as well, which is significantly higher than the rest of the top 6. What's Dutt's response going to be?
Turn on offer even with the new ball. Significant turn will be a single out to Baz Dalida in the leg side. And a free hit. No ball indicated. I think that might have been for a front foot overstep. We'll just see if we can get that checked. But Arjen Dutt, nerves showing again.
Under pressure immediately, the young man. Such an impressive character. Just 17 years old. He's a real prospect for the Netherlands with ball and bat, actually. And we'll see what he's made of here under pressure.
Heaved into the leg side off the free hit. He's going to fly all the way for 6. What a start this is for Malaysia. They've got no fear in chasing down the near 10 and over required. Some nervous laughter from the Dutch fans in the crowd.
Never easy for an off-spinner when you've got a free hit. He tried to bowl it into the pitch, but it was straight into the arc of Arudin, whose first ball was a free hit. That's nice, isn't it?
The dream start. Bowled him. Arjen Dutt strikes back and he celebrates. An absolute beauty. Clipping the top of off stump, going through the gate. Arudin hit the free hit for 6. He got far too excited and he's gone for second ball.
What a comeback by the young man. Really pleased for him. It's been a difficult start for him in T20 international cricket yesterday and today, but he held his nerve there, and that one just going on with the arm. Beautiful delivery, actually, just clipping the top of off stump. Big celebration, big moment for him. His first wicket in international cricket, and it's Anwar Arudin who's gone for 6 off 2 balls. It's 12 for 1.
Ahmed Fai is the new man to the crease, the Malaysian captain. An impressive character. Spoke with real assurance and confidence to us throughout the preparatory days here. He's very proud to be leading his country. I'm very proud to be here for this tri-series. He's in at number 3. Big swing and a miss outside the off stump.
What a crazy start to this game, eh? It was 12 for 1 off 3 balls, with a free hit in there, and a pretty crazy innings from Anwar Aruddin, actually. 6 off 2 balls. I think he thought that might have been another free hit.
Down the leg side, big appeal and given. The umpire almost shook his head at first, but I think it's come off the glove. A really good catch. Scott Edwards outstanding with the gloves yesterday. One of the few things that went right for the Netherlands, and Arjen Dutz got 2 in the first over.
It never rains, but it pours for the young man. That is a really good catch, isn't it, from Scott Edwards down the leg side. I saw Johnny Bairstow actually take a similar catch last night in the IPL for the Sunrisers. So tough that I think came off the glove. So Fai's the captain, gone for a duck. Malaysia in trouble already, 12 for 2.
So an eventful first over, Malaysia 12 for 2. Off to an absolute flyer. And then 2 wickets in 4 balls for Arjen Dutz. Would have been a nervous young man, just 17 years of age. But he's managed to take his first 2 wickets in international cricket. Vivian Kingma. It's going to be from this Shivam cement end. Beauty. And this man is my player to watch for the week. With bat or ball, there is something about Vivian Kingma. He's got the X factor.
And immediately he's bowling a hard length into the pitch, which is what the Netherlands bowlers didn't do often enough yesterday. They bowled a bit too full, allowed the Nepali batsmen just to hit them straight out the park. I think today we're going to see them drag their length back a little bit, both the seamers and the spinners. Much harder to hit on this pitch when you bowl a hard length.
And a slip in place, sort of a wide second, third slip. He's hit him. Aziz hasn't known a lot about that. It's come back into him. Kingma probably the quickest bowler on show from all 3 sides, I'd imagine. And that looks to have hurt him a little.
Looked nasty, that, didn't it? Short ball that just followed the batsman. Got in an awkward position, didn't he? Tucked him up. But you see immediately the thought process here of Kingma. He's not going to give too many to drive, I don't think, like yesterday. He was unlucky, in fact, yesterday. He should have had a wicket off a no ball, that of Kushal Bertel. That would have changed everything.
Just thuds into the thigh pad. Really good diving effort from Scott Edwards. We'll wait for the signal. And it is going to be leg byes. Yeah, you talk about small moments and small margins in any sport, but in cricket in particular. Vivian Kingma keeps his foot behind the line. Nepal are none for 1. I'm not saying necessarily the Netherlands win the match, but we have a completely different game of cricket.
Apparently he hadn't bowled outdoors in a game for quite a long time, or even in practice, because they'd had to bowl indoors with the rain. So the only time he'd actually bowled outdoors was in the warm-up before the game. So I think they were kind of expecting him to overstep at some point and just hoped it wouldn't be a wicket ball.
Good pace again from Kingma. And yeah, you've got to remember he's had a very serious ankle operation. It's completely changed his stride length, and he's finding it hard to find that rhythm. He's a real athlete. You talked about his physicality, but he just said he couldn't keep his foot behind the line at any point. And they did get 1 training session up at the Mulpani ground here across the other part of Kathmandu. But what a potential asset he's going to be for Ryan Campbell going forward if he can stay fit And if he can get this run up we're looking at now sorted. Big appeal. Kingma convinced. He's wondering if it's not a wide, what did it come off?
And that's a very good question, because I don't think it was anywhere near his hip. So if there was a sound, it probably couldn't have been anything else other than glove. Interesting. The umpire saying that flicked the thigh pad. I'm not sure it did, to be honest with you. Could have been a second strangle down the leg side.
Yeah, Vinay Jha deciding to give that one not out. Kingma was certainly convinced. Short ball again, pulled this time. This thing's going to get off the mark. Close out a tight second over. The score now 13-2. So we've a drama to start the chase here for Malaysia. Certainly the underdogs in this tri-series, lowest ranked of the three sides. But after Netherlands' performance yesterday, I just wondered, were we going to have a big upset? Max O'Dowd has helped Netherlands do the first half of the job, and the man with the ball in hand, Arjen Dutt, has taken 2 wickets in his first over.
Play on it.
What's Malaysia's approach going to be from here, Matt?
Well, that's going to be the interesting thing, really. I think the temptation will be, because they haven't played in so long, just to try and bat the overs here, not give it away. I'm not saying use it as a net, but just bat 10 overs and see where they are.
On it.
But I'm not them, so could well be that they'll feel that the only way to get anywhere near this total is to go hell for leather early on. We saw yesterday, didn't we, that the Netherlands, when they lost 2 early wickets, just rebuilt and knocked things around. It might have lost them the game, really, because they didn't score enough with 136, but Malaysia may feel that's what they have to do, just to give themselves half a chance of getting anywhere near 192.
I think the interesting thing for me is you see more and more in modern international cricket sides living by the sword and dying by the sword. Owen Morgan's approach with the World Cup winning side for England, questioned sometimes when they get bowled out early, he says, no, this is the way we go about it. We still play our brand of aggressive cricket. Malaysia trying to continue to do that pump to mid-off. Powerfully, can't beat the circle.
It's timed a couple very nicely. Side Aziz. Just finding the fielder there.
On it, Saucy. Lovely boy.
Bit of bite there for Arjen Dutt. Got an impressive action, actually. Looks a strong, good action. He's a big guy for a 17-year-old. Such a hot prospect for the Dutch.
Yeah, we haven't got to see him with the bat yet, and that's what I'm excited about. We see him a little bit in the nets. Powerful striker of the ball. Just pulls out. But it's his off spin that's in operation here.
On it.
Doing a really good job settling into a rhythm. Single to end the third over. Malaysia are 16-2. So 15-2 Malaysia. I'm going to see the first change in bowling, perhaps a little surprisingly after an impressive Kingma over. Baz de Leede into the attack. See that more and more in T20I cricket, don't we? Bowlers operating in one-over spells, captains ringing the changes so regularly.
Thought Kingma was a bit unlucky there, though. It was a pretty good over. Bowled just back of a length, a hard length. Difficult to get away. Could have picked up a wicket.
And shape immediately for Bashundhara. An athletic young man. That one tailing back into the left-hander, surprising Aziz, who had to dig his bat down onto it to preserve his wicket, and he gets through for the single.
Just the one over yesterday for 7, Bashundhara. Ryan Campbell was saying yesterday that the hope is that he can become a genuine all-rounder for this Dutch side, primarily a batsman. But if they can just fiddle a few overs out from him every game, it's going to really help the balance of the side.
Good running. Through for the single. Kingma can't pick up cleanly. Yeah, flowing locks, and be a proud father back home in the Netherlands about 10:30 a.m. back home. All the Dutch fans waking up in their Sunday morning slumber. Tim DeLito, one of the great legacies in Dutch cricket. I think that Dutch side of the 90s was a very fine one.
It was, and Tim DeLito was a big part of that, wasn't he? The former captain who played in 3 World Cups. He was a bowling all-rounder. Got some pretty decent scalps along the way as well. He got Sachin out, Inzamam, Matt Hayden. That's a good story for the grandkids, isn't it?
Yeah, you talk about that Dutch side, such an amount of them gone through county cricket as well. Roland Lefebvre down at Somerset, who is now the current high performance director of the KNCB, the Dutch Cricket Board. The likes of Paul Jan Bakker. Bas Zuiderend, who had a long career with primarily Worcestershire.
Adrian van Troost, remember him? Fast bowler from Somerset. He was rapid. Bit wayward, but rapid.
They reckon he was up around 100 miles an hour. This was pre-speed guns. One of the fastest bowlers and scariest bowlers you'll ever face. Comes off the leading edge. Could be a chance for the 3rd wicket. Taken. Peter Seeler is not going to drop that. He was looking to work it into the leg side, but it finds the leading edge. The bowling change works. Malaysia in deep trouble now.
And that's a big blow as far as Malaysia are concerned. Syed Aziz very much the main man for them with the bat. Their leading run scorer. 6 50s in T20 internationals, by far the most. But unfortunately, he is gone. Just too early on the shot. I think it may have just held in the pitch a little bit. It is a bit tacky out there. And the simplest of catches for the captain, Peter Saylor, who will be over the moon with how his side have started with the ball. On track here for their first win, as he's gone for 7, 20 for 3.
Trouble for Malaysia, and everything that the Netherlands are touching at the moment is turning to gold. The men in orange right on top, riding on Maxwell O'Dowd's century to post 191. They're right now all over Malaysia with the ball. 3 wickets inside the first 4 overs. Bashundhara is getting up ahead of steam.
Slip in as well. Peter Saylor attacking here. He senses blood. This is the perfect riposte so far to a very disappointing start by the Netherlands yesterday. Clearly that rocket delivered by Ryan Campbell last night has worked.
Just strays down the leg side this time, will be signalled wide. It's almost hard to imagine it's the same side we're watching yesterday. They felt lacklustre in energy, in effort, in attitude. Everything they're doing, it seems, with much more intent and much more like the Dutch sides we're used to watching representing.
Well, as you say, they're normally so professional, the Dutch. You don't expect a performance like that, but there are mitigating circumstances. Foreign conditions, haven't played in almost 18 months. And I like the fact, though, that Ryan Campbell just didn't want to use that as an excuse. He's got a very young squad here as well, but I think he felt that he had to be harsh on them just to make sure they didn't do it again. They had to understand that it's not acceptable from his point of view for them to turn up to a T20 international not exactly ready, because when you play a side as competitive and as classy as Nepal, you will get beaten comfortably.
Just going to be worked into the leg side for a single. That'll round out the fourth over. Malaysia 22 for 3. Another change in bowling. Going to be Sebastian Brat for the first time this week into the side today. The 28-year-old. Just his fourth T20I appearance. He's been around the setup for a long time. A little bit of nerves from him. Brother of an international cricketer as well in the female format. Danielle Brat has played in the Netherlands' sole test match. Matt? He starts with a real loosener, heaved into the sky with no timing. The outfield is quick here though, so work to do for young Philippe Boissevin. Just end result will be 2 runs.
New start from Brat, another fast bowler like Kingma, who's been reintroduced to the side with so many fast men left at home playing county cricket. The likes of Brandon Glover, Fred Klaassen, Tim van der Houten. So the likes of Brat and Vivian Kingma really looking to take their chance here and keep their place in the squad.
Yeah, good stop. Another poor delivery, a diving effort in the field from Tony Stahl. A little bit like Peter Seeler wore one yesterday. So we'll just have a little bit of a break as he runs that one off. Brat doesn't look to me to not just any rhythm at the moment. He doesn't really look in full fitness as he's running in, Matt.
Yeah, he's not really busting a gut as he runs in, is he? Just a bit of a casual lope in. He's tried to dig every ball into the pitch since he's come on, but I think he's not quite got enough behind it. First ball was just a long hop, really.
This time the radar straying down the leg side. Doesn't look comfortable in his run-up. Sort of ambling in. It is a warm day out there, certainly the warmest day of the week. Probably getting up to 28, 29 degrees centigrade.
There is a nice breeze, though. Certainly pleasant out there, isn't it? And those mountains over there don't get seen too often because of the air pollution. It's a glorious day.
Going to be a boundary. The poor wayward stuff from Brat continues. He strays down the leg side this time and just worked off the hip by Singh for 4 runs.
Lebrat's got to be careful. Kingma just got 1 over, was taken off straight away. Yesterday as well, Peter Saylor was quite ruthless with his changes. Paul van Meekeren dropped today, the senior fast bowler, so they're not afraid to rotate if things don't go well. Needs to come back here after being either too full or too short so far in this over.
Slower ball, picked immediately and smashed down the ground. What a shot that is. It's going to go all the way onto the grass bank for a maximum. Super shot.
Oh, Virendeep Singh. Where did that come from? What a glorious shot that was. That was up there with anything that Max O'Dowd did earlier on today. Straight over, a wide, long off, you would say, comfortably clearing the boundary. That was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and the key part for me there was that he clearly picked the slower ball, picked it out of the hand, picked it early, set a stable base and just smashed it down the ground. We're still in the power play. Fielder out at long off. Long on, no at long off. Moved into the leg side. It's going to be back-to-back sixes. This one soaring all the way into the sky. Brat's troubles continue. A really expensive first over from him. Malaysia coming back into it. 40 for 3. Yeah, it's a Bajaj Pulsar Tri-Nations T20 series with a strength partner Shivam Cement. That's going to be the action tomorrow. Nepal against Malaysia, 1:15 local time. Those grass banks you can see in the background are going to be a lot fuller with Nepal fans as Kingma comes back in to the attack. Joined by Shard Vrasakar. Really poor over that from Sebastian Brat.
Yeah, not a great way to start his first over. Kingma seems to be going very well though. He's definitely putting a lot of effort in his bowling today. Hitting the pitch hard, not giving away any width.
Yeah, he's such an athlete. You see there in his follow through, and something I love, I called it out yesterday. You can see him bowling in his spectacles. You really don't see that too often. I can't think of a single other fast bowler who's ever done it. You think of the likes of Anil Kumble, Daniel Vittori, some batsmen even, David Steele back in the 70s for England. But can you ever think of a fast bowler you've seen bowl at international cricket in spectacles?
That's true. I've never seen that. Maybe he has something tied up from the back, a rubber band, to help the glasses stay stable.
Clive Lloyd, the great West Indian captain, end of his career, he had the glasses on. No ball signalled. This was the problem for Kingma, and we're going to have another free hit. And to add insult to injury, it's going to be a boundary 4 as well. Lovely shot, wasn't a bad delivery, just punched off the back foot. But crucially, the right arm goes out, free hit signalled.
Yeah, that's a very good shot, transferring his weight on the back foot, and a free hit, adding insult to injury.
Yeah, these are the problems for Kingma with his run-up. He really is struggling. Much longer stride he feels he has with the small piece of bone that was removed from his ankle. And you cannot afford to bowl no balls in any format of modern international cricket, particularly T20s though. Here comes the free hit. Slower ball heaved into the leg side, and it's going to be a boundary. Yesterday's free hit was punished for 6. This time it's punished for 4. Malaysia just starting to gain some momentum.
Kingma seemed to bowl a leg cutter down the leg side, flicked nicely by Muniandi for another boundary. Malaysia seems to gaining some momentum here, rebuilding slowly after the first quick 3 wickets.
It's all action here, isn't it? In the Bajaj Pulsar Tri-Series. On the pitch, off the pitch, all happening in the crowd yesterday. Great entertainment. No ball again, and it's going to go for 4. This is turning into a nightmare for Vivian Kingma. Not a bad delivery, skews off the outside edge. Immediately the umpire signals no ball, so we're going to have 4 runs and a free hit.
Munyandi was looking to go over covers, edged it towards the third man region, third man up, and another no ball. I thought you were saying he took off a small bone off his ankle. His foot should have been behind, isn't it? Because the length of the foot should have been shorter.
I'm afraid that's not the way it's worked. I think his stride has got longer. He's still adjusting to that stride. He's obviously an imposing and physical athlete, but that's the 3rd no ball of this innings, 2 of them coming from Kingma. The 3rd free hit is coming up. First one went for 6, second one for 4. Good bowling, slower ball into the pitch. Managed to keep the foot behind the line, no contact made. Kingma looks in agony there. He knows how costly these no balls are for his side.
If you see the games from yesterday, the balls dug in with slower balls. The cutters have been much effective than the regular pace-up deliveries. It's not been easy for the batsmen, not getting any pace off the wicket.
That one's going to be signalled wide again, looking for the cutter. Went over the shoulder of Munyandi. And all of a sudden, maybe 2 or 3 overs ago, you might have been tuning in thinking, the Netherlands are going to cruise this. Very much game on here. You see the required run rate at the bottom of the screen. They won't be pleased with the 3 wickets lost, but very much right up with the par run rate, and it's game on.
That's true. The way they are going, I hope like they go like this for another 5 overs. It will be interesting to see. They might be able to make a match out of it.
Remember, the Dutch could only muster 45 for 1 in their power play. It was really the late hitting from Maxwell O'Dowd that got them up to that 191. So Malaysia coming into the game nicely. Just worked off the hip. Maybe a single to the deep fielded by Boissevain, and his 4 overs a leg spinner you feel will be crucial.
Yeah, seeing the wicket right now, like it's getting a bit slower, and looking at the cutter's ball, it's not coming onto the bat. So
yeah, look at this, shouted at the bottom of your screen. The required run rate 9.6, the current run rate 9.6. They are right on track. They won't be happy with the 3 wickets lost.
But what an inning it was by Max O'Dowd. Almost 70% of the runs scored single-handedly.
Yeah, good finish from Kingma, but he's not going to be happy with how that over went. It's the end of the power play. Malaysia are 56 for 3. So the power play complete, and we are going to see the leg spin of Philippe Boissevain. You can see the umpire signalling the end of the fielding restriction. So 5 men allowed outside the circle, the 30-yard fielding circle. But 40 off the last 3 overs. Bit of a nightmare for Sebastian Brat, 18 coming from his over, and Kingma with those 2 no balls, 16 runs coming from that over. So Peter Seelart needs some control back. He goes to his leg spinner. And he's greeted with a straight bat, smashing him down the ground over the side screen for 6 runs. This camera soared into the sky. It wasn't that big a hit, but my God, what a shot. 6 runs. Boissevain yesterday started with a full toss. He went for 6. The same thing's happened today.
Yeah, early pressure to the youngster. Full swing of the bat. Gorgeous hit straight down the ground.
The cameraman was taking evasive action there for a moment. He thought it was coming straight at him. Massive hit pressure again on Boissevin early in his spell. That's much better. Out of the hitting arc into the pads. Just worked into the leg side, but you can almost feel Malaysia growing in confidence all of a sudden.
Absolutely, like Munyandi taking the charge. A couple of boundaries from the last few overs has certainly brought them back to track. Early pressure put into Boissevin.
Too full toss. Yeah, a little full toss. Just worked into the leg side. Good fielding. Certainly saves the boundary. That's Delita. Get back for two, but definitely pressure on Boissevin. Good to see Sealer having the slip in, backing his young leg spinner.
You could see him getting some rip yesterday. He needs to get those balls landing near the good length areas.
It's a beauty. That's what this young man can do, is real turn and bounce. Out of the Shane Warne mould, an old-fashioned leg spinner who rips it. That's a beauty. Strider this time swept into the deep. Gets it fine of the protection. And Bratt gets the throw in. They come back for two.
Nice sweep shot there by Virandeep.
Hear the Malaysia bench really getting behind them. They're starting to believe they're in this match.
Yeah, some energy building up there by the Malaysian team in the bench, supporting from the outside.
Shorter this time. Hit into the leg side. Just going to be a single to round out Boissevin's first over. Malaysia moved to 68 for 3. Bowlers used so far for the Netherlands. I'm going to see a 6 because Peter Seelar is going to replace Vivian Kingma after that nightmare of an over for Kingma, struggling with his run-up. 2 no balls proving very costly, but Seelar has problems because Bratt, you wouldn't have thought he'll be going back to him anytime soon, so he's got to take the ball himself, and these will be a critical 4 overs of left arm spin.
Expected change, bringing himself on, the captain. Very experienced guy.
Yeah, and I was so impressed with the way he led his side yesterday in defeat. I know that might sound like a contradiction, but after the match, he was very tactful, very thoughtful, praised Nepal, said what we did was not acceptable. He didn't use any excuses of any kind.
Yeah, he seems to have a lot of good qualities of leadership. He's a very honest guy. Starting off very well.
Absolutely no timing there. I think Munyandi thought it was shorter than it was, and just down to long on for a single.
Doesn't seem to be a big turner of the ball, Sealer, but his experience, the changes of length, the speed, that's what he's going to use for good effect.
Sangling into the pads, a little bit of a mix-up, really good fielding as well. Ends up putting his captain on his backside, and the result's a dot ball.
Sealer not giving him any room. Probably he has seen him hitting. Munyandi seems to like some width. He likes to open his arms, so.
You can see it's very formulaic at this stage of the T20 for the Netherlands. 3 men in the deep on the leg side, a 5-4 offside field, the 2 out on the offside long off, and deep extra cover. He's not looking for wickets here as such. He's just looking to defend and maybe the Malaysian batsman to give it away.
Coming wide of the crease, Captain Sealer. getting that angle in and a slight turn away.
Yeah, no appreciable turn. We saw him really rag the first ball yesterday. That one probably just going on with the arm a little bit. Nicely bowled. Really good start from Sealer. Just 3 singles coming from the over. That's exactly what the Dutch captain needed. Malaysia 71 for 3. Game 2 of the Bajaj Pulsar Tri-Nation T20 Series. Strength partner Shivam Cement. Could be a chance to start the 9th over, and it's dropped. He was going backwards, Tony Stahl. He never quite looked comfortable under it. Boissevan should have had his first wicket of the week. Instead, it's a drop catch and 2 runs to the total.
Virendeep trying to go over covers, getting a leading edge. The cover fielder.
Tony Stahl, yeah, put it down. A little bit of ball watching from the batsman as well. They only ran one run.
Probably the wind also carrying the ball away from the fielder.
Yeah, you've got to remember you're at 1,400 metres altitude here at kind of base level in Kathmandu. It's higher than any point in the Netherlands ever in the history of the Netherlands. So the ball certainly will travel a little bit different.
Yeah, it does. And in the afternoons, the wind tends to pick up. So it's not easy to judge those catches. Nicely punched off the back foot for a run.
Yeah, just the team in the background giving me a quick search off Google. The highest point, Netherlands famously a very flat country, windmills and bicycles. Highest point in the whole country in the Netherlands is 323 metres, and here we are at this beautiful ground. It's 1,400 metres up. It's beauty. That's super bowling from Philippe Boissevain. Beats him outside the off stump.
That was a very good ball. Pitched it around the off stump. Spinning away. A rare dot ball from Boissevain.
Yeah, nicely bowled from the youngster. Bit short of this time, pulled into the leg side. Could be half a chance, and it's put down. A superb effort from Team Deleda. He kicks the boundary rope in frustration. Going to be 4 runs. That's 2 drop catches in the over.
A very good diving effort there by Dilili. Covered good ground to reach there, but seemed to have not go. Yeah, very good effort, but hit his fingertips and rolled over the boundary ropes.
Pulled into the deep. Is this finally going to be the wicket? We've had 2 drop catches, and Ben Cooper says that's how you do it, boys. The easiest of the 3 chances, in fairness. Boissevain has deserved that wicket, and he finally strikes.
Yeah, Philip, he was getting his rhythm back, and Munyandi going for another short ball, pulling it straight over, long on in region, and didn't time it that well as he would have liked to. And Ben Cooper taking an easy catch. Malaysia 78 for 4.
So 9 overs gone, and Peter Seelar won't have been too happy with those 2 dropped catches. But after the lives given to the Malaysian batsman.
Shafiq Sharif is the next batsman walking in. He's been there around the Malaysian team for a while now.
We talk about cult heroes in each side. I've already called Max O'Dowd as the cult hero for the Dutch. I'm going to call this man here Shafiq Sharif. Stocky, powerful, very much out of the Mohammad Shahzad mould of wicket keepers. A little bit chatty behind the stumps earlier. Looking forward to seeing what he can do with the bat now.
A change in batting order for him. I've seen him coming a lot above this number before.
Yeah, just easing into his innings. You can see Seelar just really content to dry up any of the boundary options, start to increase that required run rate, which is now over 10 and over.
Yeah, he's building up that pressure with dot balls.
Big appeal. Given not out, maybe just outside the line. What a character, Shafiq Sharif. He's had 1 ball to have a look and he goes for the extravagant switch hit. I think it probably would have gone on to hit the stumps, but maybe just outside the line of off stump.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see the replay if we can. But yeah, it seemed to have hit him a little bit outside.
Down the track, smashed down the ground towards long on. And taken, brilliant catch from Ben Cooper. Sharif stay at the crease is a short one. He's gone for a 3rd ball duck. Super stuff from the tall man at long on. Netherlands have their 5th wicket.
Those bucket hands. Very good catch by Ben Cooper. Came flat and low to him. Did very well. Came forward and a very good diving effort. It's not easy to take those catches diving forward. Made it look very easy. Shafiq gone for 0. Malaysia 79 for 5.
So Amin Ramley in at number 7. And Seelar is a little bit on the attack now. He's got a slip in place. Tobias Fasay has gone in there. Of course, Fasay known as a wicket keeper as well, so good hands.
Nice cut shot there for a run. Seelar keeping it really tight here. Bowling those stump lines, not giving much width. Using his experience to good effect.
Yeah, and crucially, he's just strangling the Malaysian momentum that was being gathered. Yeah, super stuff from the captain. The halfway stage, I'll bid you adieu. Matt Floyd will be back with the rest of the innings. It's 80 for 5.
So the Netherlands have quelled a bit of a fight back from Malaysia with those 2 wickets in the last couple of overs. Back on track now. What's the event to continue? And that is going to be a wicket possibly. No, it isn't. Good opportunity there for Dutt, the 17-year-old. It wasn't a great ball in truth, a bit of a long hop. It was middled off the back foot, but Dutt just palmed it over the bar like a goalkeeper.
Yeah, flat, hard hit towards the long off region. Just bounced off his hands for a 6.
That was Ramley's second ball, so straight into it. He's got a good strike rate overall, Ramley. 140 he strikes at in T20, so we know what he's going to do. Oh, that is a big shot.
Wild swing.
Wild swing. I don't think he was expecting the ball to turn, but it did. Bosevan just finding a nice rhythm now. When he gets it right, he really is a dangerous customer. That one's shorter, and that's pulled away hard by Ramley, just short of the man out at the deep mid-wicket boundary. They come through for a single. He wants to get on with it, Sharad.
Yeah, Bosevan not happy with himself. Maybe it just got stuck in his hands. Trying to push it a bit. Bowling short. Lucky he didn't get.
That's a better length for him. That kept a bit low, actually, that ball. We haven't seen too many keep low over the last two games.
Yeah, you could see a puff of dust after the landing of the ball as well. That might be the reason the ball kept
It was a
bit
good
low.
sight for a spinner, that. Cuts in the air just past the man in the ring. And Dutt, unfortunately, can't prevent the boundary, so that's an expensive over. 11 gone, 92 for 5.
Got to talk about that.
So, 100 needed exactly now from the final 9 overs. Salar to continue. Almost gets a wicket. That just missed the stumps. Very, very close indeed. Virendeep Singh still at the crease, 30 off 25. He's done a good job for his side here. They're not out of this, are they, Sharad?
Definitely, but they seem to be going well with the run rate. 11 runs required. 11.
Virendeep pulls away, just the one. It would take some run chase from here, were they to get there. They've been helped by some Netherlands fielding. 3 drops we've seen now. This was the Dutt one, went through his hands really, and he wasn't right on the boundary rope. Had he been right on the rope, he might have been able to make that catch.
Yeah, maybe though he couldn't keep his hands firmer than that. If he had kept the hands a little bit tighter, it wouldn't have bounced it to the rope.
That's another hard pull, and that is going to go for 6. So Aminuddin Ramley is making an impact here. 18 off just 8 balls. It's just revived this run chase for Malaysia.
Yeah, seems to be a good hitter of the ball. Nicely pulled it towards the square leg region. Flat hit towards the shorter side of the boundary. Yeah, these two have to bat as long as possible. The last pair of recognized batsmen Malaysian team has.
And Ramley has history in big games. He played a big part in the win over Nepal, a crucial 29 not out of just 18 balls, coming in at number 7 to help get the side up to a score of 154, which they defended. This time in a chase. He's under pressure, but he's certainly just got things going again for Malaysia after the wickets just brought the run rate down a tad.
Virendeep, his role should be to bat till the end.
And take singles like that. That's a nice bit of play. 101 for 5, 12 overs gone. Malaysia up against it, but not completely out of this run chase. 91 needed off the final 8. So they'll have to go at just over 11 runs and over. But Ramley 19 off 9. Virandeep 32 off 27. They've come together nicely here. Putting on 22 so far for this 6th wicket. Change in bowling. Sebastian Bratt back into the attack. Bowled a poor first over. I'm sure he'll be the first one to admit that. Too short or too full, both sides of the wicket. Starts with a slower ball. Keeper up to the stumps.
Looking at the field, third man up, fine leg up. He would be looking to bowl more of off cutters and leg cutters, slower balls. Taking the pace off the ball would be the way to go, and this pitch seems to be effective for that.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Sharad. Exactly what he's going to try and do. Pace off, bowl it right into the pitch. With the tennis ball bounce, it just seems quite hard to get that length away for the batsman.
Yeah, bowling those cutters, you can see a big difference off the pitch. The ball not coming onto the bat, not easy to time those.
This will be fun. I think Ramley's going to want a piece of Bratt here. Not off that length, just takes the single. How would you describe the two pitches we've seen? Have they been traditional TU cricket ground pitches?
Yeah, like the domestic tournaments which we had a couple of months ago, it had a lot of grass cover on it. I was a little surprised as well to see this kind of pitches, but probably the summer taking into effect, the weather getting warmer.
That's a great take from Edwards. Half an appeal for the stumping. I think it actually came off the pad of Virandeep, so even more impressive.
Yeah, you could hear the sound coming off the thigh pad probably.
So the pitches in the domestic tournament with a bit of grass, were they doing a bit for the seamers?
Yes, it was helping the seamers. We had quite a long winter this time, so the ball was doing a lot in the morning sessions especially. And we could see the most wickets taken by the seamers on those tournaments.
Oh, beautiful.
Clipped away nicely by Virandeep. I think it's just going to be a single again, though. I think if they'd prepared similar pitches in this tri-series, that would have played into the Netherlands' hands with their array of seamers available, particularly the two tall, fast men, Van Meeker and Kingma, and Bratt as well. Much more sensible to prepare this type of pitch. Play to your strengths. Oh, that's a big shot from Ramley. He's hoiked that over to the leg side, but straight to the man at deep mid-wicket. Just another single then. So decent comeback by Bratt. 105 for 5. Seven runs needed off just 7 overs for Malaysia. It's a tall order from here. They need a big over coming up. And Buzz the leader back into the attack for the Netherlands. Bowling to Ramley. Oh, it's a big shot from Ramley. He's gone up and over the offside there, and he's managed to find the gap as well. Just went square enough. So the man sweeping on the offside boundary couldn't get round in time. A much needed boundary, Sharad.
Yeah, a slower cutter ball outside the off stump, which provided to Ramley, and he made full use of it. Third man up, a good gap found by the batsman there. Really disappointed by himself
Well, Ramley certainly has ramped things up, hasn't he, for Malaysia over the last few balls. Another big shot. Pace off again from Delida. Well bowled. But Ramley's not going to hang around here. If he faces enough balls, Malaysia have a chance.
Surely. Looking at his strike rate, the way he's going, it would be very interesting if he bats till 17 or 18 overs. It will help Malaysia to get closer to the target for sure.
Oh, that's well bowled, actually. Completely deceived Ramley with the slower ball there. He was so early on the shot. Quite lucky, in fact, that he didn't find one of the men on the offside ring. Just hit the gap, so he took a single.
Smart option taken there by Delid. Ramley seems to like ball coming onto the bat, and rightly Delid changing the pace and making it harder for him.
That could well be a wide overhead height. Standing umpire just checking, and it's not. Square leg umpire saying that wasn't overhead height. It certainly looked that way from where we are. No, now he's changed his mind. He has given it a wide. That also counts as one for the over in terms of bounces. I don't think Delida can complain there. That was miles over his head.
Yeah, it looked miles over his head from here to from the commentary box.
Oh, we're indeed going for the big pull shot. He's just got stuck in a bit of a rut here. Unfortunately, just when Malaysia have needed him to kick on, he's been tied down. Started really well with that glorious 6 over extra cover.
Virandeep is not a big, strong hitter of the ball. He would be rather good if he looks to time it rather than using power.
Oh, that's a big pull shot from Ramley. But he's found the man on the boundary. Well taken that by Sebastian Brandt. He didn't quite get all of it, did Ramley? Yeah, he's looking at the bat. Came right off the toe. And finally, the Netherlands pouched one on the boundary.
Yeah, he didn't time it. He was looking at the bottom of the bat. Ramley disappointed. Are they checking on something?
Yeah, the batsman's just hanging around here, having a conversation. Not quite sure what's happening. Is it the no ball? That looks absolutely fine. So if it is the no ball, Ramley will be on his way. And he is. You can, of course, do that nowadays in T20 internationals. Go upstairs and just double-check the no ball. Oh, Ramley's disappointed, isn't he? He just had a glimmer of hope there when they went up to the third umpire. He thought this could be my lucky day. Good innings, though. He's gone for 26 off just 14. 112 for 6. So Virandeep on strike as the batsman crossed there. Kiza Hyatt, the new batsman.
Yeah, Kiza Hyatt also is known to use the long handle well.
We like a bit of long handle, don't we? That's what you need in T20, especially at this stage. Virandeep just gets him on strike. Kiza Hyatt has batted in the top 3 before. He's an all-rounder, regularly bowls first change and bats number 3. That's 14 overs done, 114 for 6. 78 needed now by Malaysia off just 6 overs. The required run rate is climbing up to 13 runs and over now. And you're right, yeah, change of ends and change of bowling. The captain, Peter Saylor, coming back into the attack. And Virendeep again, just happy to take the single. Not scored a boundary in a while. I think he just needs to up his game a little bit here. 37 off 34 balls. It's been a decent knock. But now's the time to really go if you want to win this game. You can't just do it from one end with the required rate of 13. Hyatt showing intent right away.
Yeah, really impressed by Captain Sealer, the way he has approached this game. He has really kept things tight from the first over itself.
Ooh, went a long way across Hyatt. I don't think you can give that as a wide.
Yeah, you can see the leg stump. Probably he moved away a bit. The reason why umpire didn't signal it a wide.
That's the go now.
You feel something's going to happen here, don't you? The next couple of balls with Kizza Hyatt. Down the track again. Will they push for 2? They won't. So it's been a very good start to the over by Sealer. Just 2 from the first 4 balls. This game slipping away from Malaysia.
Malaysia would really like Kizza to bat and score a few quick runs here.
Oh, he went early. That's a great shot from Virendeep Singh. Wow. He went early. He switched the hands over, didn't he? Kevin Peterson-esque, and just caressed the ball behind square. That was lovely.
Yeah, nearly went all the way. Very nicely executed shot there. Almost looked like a left-hander.
Yeah, like a left-handed sweep. Aerial sweep. This time he moves across the stumps. This could be a wide from Saylor, and it's running away as well. Have a look at the umpire. Leg buys, he says. Over bowled then. 15 gone, 5 to go. Malaysia 121 for 6. Overs to go in this run chase. The Netherlands put 191 for 2 on the board, thanks to Max O'Dowd's fantastic century, the first by a Netherlands player in T20 internationals. Malaysia needs 71 off the final 5 to overhaul it. Pull from Virendeep. That's gone flat, and that's gone hard, and that's gone for 6. So he's starting to really up the ante now. Short delivery, and he needs to do that, Andrew, if they're going to win this game.
Yeah, Sebastian Bratt, the day he's having, needs to turn it around and turn it around quickly. Otherwise, we're going to have game on in the last 5 overs here. Super knock this from Singh. He moves to 47. Still late hope here in this game. T20 international cricket changes in the course of just 1 over. Bratt already gone for 28 off just 13 deliveries.
Not having a good day so far. Can he redeem himself? So that will bring Kizza Hyatt back on strike, who looks like he's in no mood to hang around. Made a decent fist of this so far, Malaysia. Remember, they had a terrible start. They were 20 for 3 of 3.5 overs. Virendeep and Sharvin Muniandi were the 2 who rebuilt. Oh, that's gone wrong, hasn't it? Slower ball from Bratt. Got his line all wrong there.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get that out of the back of the hand, Madden. Kind of sums up his day at the moment. Sebastian Bratt. He's at the change of ends. His first over hammered all over the ground. First ball of this over going for 6, and you can see the permutation there. 63 off 28.
That was better. hard length, followed the batsman. He's in for Paul van Meekeren, isn't he? Sebastian Braat. And he's been around for a while. Van Meekeren, the senior fast bowler during this series for the Netherlands, but they've still left him out today. Obviously weren't too happy with his performance yesterday. It was expensive in his 2 overs.
Yeah, Van Meekeren, of course, losing his county contract with Somerset. Hasn't played a huge amount of late.
Ooh, slow ball bouncer again. This time Edwards can't collect, so that's going to be either wides or byes. Or did he actually glove it?
I think there might have just been
something on it. Yeah, he did. So that's 50 for Virendeep Singh. Well batted. 52 off just 39 balls. His third 50 in T20 internationals, the vice captain. And this one on the biggest stage that he's been on so far.
Yeah, just a feather of the glove coming off, and Scott Edwards absolutely no chance. Bharat continuing to be expensive. If Singh can keep going here, it's maybe
pulled. Has that found the man though? Just short of Baz the leader at a deep square leg. So single taken. 57 needed now off 24 balls. If this was an IPL game, you'd be thinking this is doable.
Absolutely. And if you look at the way the ball is soaring through the sky up at the altitude we have here, still possibilities for Malaysia to spring what would be a massive upset.
Slower ball, gives a Hyatt straight up in the air. This is going to be caught. It is at long on. Good catch by Ben Cooper, who's caught 3 now. So that was an important wicket for the Netherlands, just to quell a burgeoning partnership between these two, and an important wicket for Braat.
Yeah, without doubt, and Hyatt could just never get going. Couldn't find any timing whatsoever. Seems to be that way for a lot of the batsmen that are coming in, and the ball continues to follow Ben Cooper. One hand coming off the bat. They say get your best fielders into the most important positions. Long on is that one. His third catch. 7th Malaysian wicket to fall. Hyatt's gone for 2. Malaysia 135 for 7.
So a change by the Netherlands. Leg spinner Philip Boissavan coming back into the attack. Interesting move this from Sailor. 57 needed off 24 by Malaysia. They are 7 down though, so Virendeep Singh, it's all on him. Vice-captain has played very well coming in at number 4 with his side 12 for 2 at the end of the first over. But I think he's going to have to do this himself. And he's going to have to be aggressive in this over. Switch hit. Plays it well. Gets it along the ground this time. 2 men behind square on the offside. Beats them both. He's a talent.
Yeah, what a knock this is turning into from Virendeep Singh. A little gem of an innings. That famous number 23 on the back. Worn by so many famous cricketers. 57 off 42. Look at the technique here. You wouldn't have been seeing that one in the coaching manual too long ago, but it's so commonly used now at international level.
And he falls over, doesn't he, to get the extra power. Goes straight this time, traditional, and that's going to be 4. Back-to-back boundaries for Virendeep Singh. Great start to the over, showing a fine array of strokes as well.
Yeah, and Boissevain again just being guilty of a little bit too slow through the air and bowling it into the hitting arc of the batsman. He was talking at length with the head coach about this at the hotel last night, and he was saying, I watched it back on the TV stream. I didn't feel like I was bowling slow, but it looked very loopy. His coach told him to bowl quicker today. That's too slow, too easy to power down the ground.
Oh, that's better, isn't it? Oh, there's a run-out chance here. Mix up. Wafiq, short of his ground. He's dropped his bat. It's all going on. What's happening? Bowler's dropped it too. And the end result, dot ball.
Yeah, I think this is a classic example where the scoreboard does no justice to what's actually happened in the delivery. Beautiful ripping leg break, well kept out. The non-striker wanted one. Wafiq set off. He's slipped, he's dropped the bat, he's fallen over. The throw has come in. And in fairness, Boissevain collected it, but he couldn't affect the run out.
Could be two here. No, just the one. Yeah, Boissevain had the ball in his hand, actually. I thought he dropped it, but he just didn't throw it towards the stumps. I think he thought that the batsman was well in, but he was still short of his ground. So Wafiq on strike now, the left-hander. The last thing that they really want here, Malaysia, is a single. Ideally a 2 or a 4 would do nicely. Keep Virendeep on strike for the next over. Just 3 to go after this one. What's he going to do here? Googly perhaps to the left-hander. Into the pitch leg spinner. That is well hit actually by Wafiq. Finds a man on the boundary and they just trot a single. I wonder if they could have just pushed the man a bit harder there. 144 for 7.
This is the problem, Matt, for the Dutch captain, Peter Seelaar. Does he go back to Vivian Kingma or not? Huge problems with the no balls. That's why he had to bowl Bratt the third over. So is he going to gamble and go Kingma? Will it be Baz de Leede? He's bowled his 4 overs for just 20. He's done his job. But if Kingma comes back in and has the issues with the run-up and the no balls again, it could change the game.
Well, the answer to your question, Andrew, is that Kingma's back on. Bowled a good first over, actually, didn't he? It was the second over where he fell apart, really, in some ways, with his overstepping and just got it wrong with the free hits too. So, can he come back?
Keep an eye on the umpire's right arm on your television screens. Can Kingma stay behind the line?
Oh, Virendeep got in a mess there. He tried to scoop, but in the end, good bowling from Kingma followed him, but Virendeep was able to just open the face and get it over the offside. Wow.
Yeah, what an extraordinary shot that was. He got all in a tangle, really. A complete mess. He was looking for the ramp, the scoop shot originally, but he's ended up opening the face and quite clever batting. That's the pace of Kingma, the thin atmosphere here. Nearly soared all the way for 6. 44 off 17. Malaysia sensing victory.
Oh, that was in the slot as well. He just lost his shape, Virendeep, I think. Tried to hit it too hard. So dot ball, valuable dot ball for the Netherlands.
Kingma's gone full pace both deliveries. I think he's got to utilise his options. His leg cutter, which we've seen him use. I think anything with full pace just has more potential to maybe fly to the boundary, even over the rope. 4 critical balls in the match coming up right here.
And if you go full pace, you've got to get the length right. Anything in the slot, it's just going to disappear. Oh, he goes to the other side. That's a good shot, actually. So that was the slower ball from Kingma. Virendeep able to get enough power on that for it to go all the way. So this is a big over now for Malaysia.
Sensational batting. That's exactly what this is. He sees the third man and fine legger up in the circle and he's exploiting that. He's not looking to hit it down the ground. And that was such a slower ball. He waited and finally scooped it over the rope all the way for 6. And right now, I just wonder, are Malaysian fans watching along at home back in Kuala Lumpur, are they thinking this is going to be the most famous day in their short history?
Well, if they get there, Virendeep Singh, this is his highest score in T20 internationals, 72 of 48. What a breakout innings for him. And this is doable. There's the shot again. He was well across to the offside. Had to really use a lot of power because the delivery was so slow just to get it over the man and get it over the boundary eventually. You'd have to say probably that slow ball was too slow from Kingma. Just a bit of a delay here.
Yeah, I think they're just checking whether or not that did travel all the way for 6. The initial instinct of the umpire was 6. He did signal 6, but we've got the Wow Energy third umpire in operation. He's checking all stumpings, all run-outs, and we are checking boundary 4s and 6s.
The Dutch fans just looking on a bit anxiously now. Things were looking a lot better, weren't they, early in the innings? 20 for 3. It's been given for 6. So, what's going to be the response of Kingma now? Needs a good one. Full pace in the slot. Virendeep just takes the single this time, down to long off. So it says over to you, Mohammed Wafiq.
I thought it was good to see. You saw Seelar with the break and play, checking the 4 of the 6. Seelar come up to his fast bowler. Where are you going to bowl? What are you going to do? Up, and Kingma was looking for the block hole, looking for the Yorker. Didn't quite hit it, but you got your protection down the ground. Much harder to ramp or scoop that.
And now you've got to figure out what you're going to do to the tail ender. Often I find pace off can be a really good option when you've got a tail ender who's swinging hard. The slow ball we saw previously in this over was just too obvious, too slow. Oh, he goes hard. That's the first bouncer we've seen, I think, all day, and that's well directed too.
Beauty, really well bowled, follows him. A little bit too quick for the tail ender as well. That's a superb piece of fast bowling, coming around the wicket, using the angle. Nothing the left-hander could do. Just a reminder, tomorrow it's going to be match 3. Expecting a big crowd, even though it's a weekday, 1:15 p.m. local time. Game 3 of the Bajaj Pulsar Tri-Nations T20 series with the strength partner, Shivam Cement. Could have another good match on tomorrow.
We could. We've seen how competitive Malaysia are with the ball. I thought they started really well. The 2 left-arm spinners looked very tidy, and Pavandeep Singh and Anwar Rahman. It was only Max O'Dowd who really got hold of the bowling. And then with the bat, they could have laid down at 20 for 3, but they've come back with a couple of good partnerships. 37 off 13 now. Big swing from Wafiq. He wanted the single too. Virendeep correctly said no, he wants the strike. So 2 overs to go, 37 needed. We could be heading for a bumper finish here at the TU International Cricket Ground. Malaysia need 37 off 12 balls, with Virendeep Singh, the vice-captain, 73 not out off 49, and he's on strike as well. Sebastian Braat in for his final over. He's been expensive so far. Wow, he has connected with that. That is a big 6. Over to the shorter side of the ground. Huge, out of the ground. The biggest we've seen all day. What a way to start the over.
Very much, maybe even advantage Malaysia right now. I think if Virendeep Singh bats through, the way Bharat has been going, Malaysia can take this game. That's right into the hitting arc. It's a real gift, to be honest. And the way that Singh is seeing them, that sword out of the ground, arguably the biggest 6 of the day.
I think it certainly was, Lenny. That was huge. We saw some big ones yesterday to that side, but that really was out of the ground. It's going to take a while, I think, for them to get the ball back and then sanitize it. Strike rate 158. It's been an excellent innings. He was going at just over a run a ball when he was in his 30s, so he's really stepped on the gas when his side needed him to.
Yeah, and Matt, you've got to bear in mind as well, Virendeep Singh is not renowned for his big hitting. Career strike rate about 110, but he's really upped his game here on the biggest stage he's ever played on, like you said. Televised right the way around the world. Family, friends, all Malaysia cricket fans back home. Can he get them over the line here?
Sure, that is a great shot as well. Off the back foot. Another 6 over the offside. That is up there with the shot he played earlier in the game off the front foot. Wow, are we on for a big shock here at the TU International Cricket Ground?
It's game on. It could be one century trumped by another because Virendeep Singh is within 15 runs. What a shot that is. It was back of a length. Leg side, offside, doesn't matter to Singh. Soars into the banks. 6 more. Huge pressure on Brat now. Perhaps advantage Malaysia.
25 needed now off 10 balls. Just threw everything at that Virendeep. They've changed the field, so Kingma's coming up from fine leg to short fine leg. Long off has stepped out to the boundary now. What's Brat going to bowl here? Slower ball, and that's whacked straight down the ground. He might well have split the 2 fielders. Oh, Sailor just got around, and crucially, they came back for 2.
Yeah, brilliant work from Sailor. Cuts off the boundary crucially. With those 2 runs, Virendeep Singh sets a new record, the highest ever score by any Malaysian batsman in a T20I. He's within 11 runs of a century now as well.
Yeah, beating Syed Aziz's record, the most established batsman in the side. Slow ball again. Virendeep hasn't got this. It's skewed away. Chance. What a catch. That is a brilliant catch. And the main man has gone. It was Visay.
Yeah, Tobias Visay, what a catch that was, Matt. Absolutely outstanding. He's a keeper by trade as well. It looped over his right shoulder. He had to dive full length, sprawling across the outfield. At first, we couldn't tell whether he clung on or not, but immediately the ball gets flung up in celebration. And is that game set and match to the men in orange?
I think it could well be. But take nothing away from that man in your screen. Virendeep Singh, what an innings. Just 20 years old, 87 off 53 balls. But he is gone. Malaysia 169 for 8. Smiles now on the faces of the Dutch fans that are here. That was a crucial wicket. They're not out of the woods just yet, though. 23 needed from 8. These 2 balls are going to be massive. Boundary needed for Malaysia. They were able to cross there, so Mohammad Wafiq, the number 9, will be on strike. Really important couple of balls. Slower ball. Swing and miss from Wafiq.
Yeah, he's 2 for 50, Sebastian Brat. But it's not going to be a day he will want to remember. If he can at least close out with a dot here, he's going to give Kingma a good chance of defending this. But if it goes for a boundary 4, maybe even a 6, it's very much still in Malaysia's hands. See nerves from Kingma off your screen. Pressure on Brat's final delivery.
And he goes with a slow ball again, and it works for him again. So a good finish by Brat. The final 3 balls, not going for a run, and the big wicket of Virendeep. Just 1 over to go. 23 needed. We've had a really absorbing game here, and it's all boiled down to the final over. Certainly, Netherlands will back themselves with just 23 needed rather, with just 2 wickets in hand, but he's bowled a few no balls.
I think Peter Seeler is looking a little nervous down at long off, just in front of our commentary position. Here comes Kingma.
He goes with pace, he goes outside the off stump.
And immediately the cheer from long off from Peter Seeler was yes, Viv. That's exactly where he needed him to be. Hide it away, doesn't want him getting scooped, doesn't want him overstepping most critically. 23 off 5, a really tall task now.
Tell you what though, a no ball really would make it interesting. No ball and a free hit.
That goes for 6. 13
Absolutely.
off 1 ball, game on.
Same tactic. Is it going to be called wide? No. I think he just hit that red line, which is used as a guidance, really, by the umpire. Good bit of bowling by Kingma.
Yeah, outstanding skills. You always talk about execution of skills under pressure for top-level cricketers. This game being broadcast right the way around the world, 18 months on. Netherlands return to international cricket after such a long break. Huge pressure on Kingma. But he's doing it when the heat is on. He's got to do it 4 more times for his team.
Same again. Action replay. We heard actually last night from Ryan Campbell. He was talking about Vivian Kingma's death plan. They've worked on a new plan for him in the final overs, and he wanted to see if he could execute it today. Well, I think he's got his answer with those 3 balls, and we can see what the plan is.
Yeah, we get a big thumbs up from Peter Seeler. Finally, perhaps just easing a breath, a sigh of relief. Mathematically only possible now if Kingma oversteps.
Oh, again, he nails it, doesn't he? Finds his Yorker.
And you can see the deep point fielder in place. So this is clearly the plan that they've been talking about. And outstanding from Kingma. Again, the figures might not show it. He's going to end up with probably none for 30 or something like that. But he's got them across the line when his team needed him the most.
And he's come back from a pretty poor second over as well. Brat had a poor start, didn't really come back from it, went for 50, although he did get the big wicket at the end. Kingma's been a little bit more consistent. Ooh, short, slower ball. It's pulled away actually by Wafiq, and it's gone all the way. So a bit late as far as Malaysia are concerned, but got a nice connection there, the left-hander.
And Seeler looking at his fast bowler, why did we deflect from the plan? The plan was working perfectly. You nailed 4 perfect Yorkers. You look for a slower ball bouncer, perhaps he wanted that wicket to end out his spell. No need for it. It's going to be too little too late for Malaysia. They still need 16, just 1 delivery remains. Why not stick with the Yorker?
Maybe that was part of the plan that we were hearing. A few Yorkers and then a bouncer. Last ball. Back to the Yorker. Perfect. Finishes with a dot. So a strong finish by Kingma. And the Netherlands have come through a tough test. They put 191 on the board thanks to Max O'Dowd's scintillating 133 not out off 73 balls. They then had Malaysia 20 for 3, but had to respond to a bit of adversity towards the end of that run chase. Malaysia, through Virendeep Singh, the vice-captain, who made 87 off 53 balls, made a really good fist of that run chase, and it was in the balance right up until 3 or 4 balls to go. We've seen a pretty competitive game here, Lenny.
Yeah, what a game of cricket. Loved every second of it, all 40 overs. It ebbed and flowed. We've seen history from Max O'Dowd. A sensational lock from him. But don't underestimate this Malaysian side. Virendeep Singh outstanding with 87. Efficient and effective with the ball. They'll want to improve with their fielding, no doubt. Some of their batting as well. Nice to see. Great respect between the sides. Big hug from Peter Seeler. Luckily, umpire Vinay Jazz in the bubble, so that's allowed, just about. But lots of fist bumps between the sides, and a really, really good, entertaining game of cricket. Played out not to the same sort of crowd as yesterday, of course, but the home side will be back in action tomorrow. And Peter Seeler, he's saying, I think I'll follow Max O'Dowd off. We'll let Max lead us off, and All the worries of the world, all the troubles have all of a sudden disappeared for Peter Seeler.
A much better performance by the Netherlands. Read the riot acts by their head coach yesterday after the game, and they certainly responded with the bats. Max O'Dowd made sure of that. To watch the highest score ever made by
But Stara Callas has made a century for the Dutch women's team, 126 against Germany back in 2019. So thanks to Bertus de Jong for that stat.
So let's have a look at the Malaysia batting card then. 176 for 8 they made in the end, falling short by 15. They were 20 for 3 with those early wickets of Aziz, Arudin and Faiz. But Virendeep Singh fought hard. He really is a talent. 87 off 53, got out in the penultimate over. Otherwise they might have got over the line. Useful contributions from Money Andy and Ramlee as well.
Yeah, tying the highest score ever for a T20 international bats from Malaysia. Records going all over the place. Money Andy impressive as well. I enjoyed his knock of 28 off 20. And Ramlee, if he could have stayed there, we could have had a game on. What about the Dutch bowling? There's no doubt of the standout. Peter Seeler, 1 for 20. 2 for 14. Perhaps surprising his off breaks didn't come back. Baz Delita, really good stuff, 2 for 15. But Vivian Kingma, 4 overs, none for 35. He's the one who closed it out for the men in orange.
So, hats off, I think, to Malaysia. Definitely made a game of it when they were behind the 8 ball. But it's the Netherlands who come through. They made 191 for 2. Malaysia 176 for 8 in reply. It's the Netherlands who win by 15 runs and get their first win of this Bajaj Pulsar Tri-Series. We're going to take a break. On the other side of that, you'll hear from Andrew Leonard and the 2 captains.
Great job.
Chăm